If you're a halfway intelligent person, when do you start questioning how lucky some keep getting?
Right.
Hold it down with the lovely Aaliyah. What's going on, Aaliyah?
What's up? How you doing? I'm
It's
good.
been a minute.
It's been a while. Sure has been a while.
The lights have dimmed on another celebrity mansion, and this time, it's none other than Jay Z and Beyoncé's sprawling estate that has found itself under the ever-watchful eye of federal investigators. Yes, you heard that right. The FBI has reportedly conducted a quiet but thorough sweep through the iconic couple's property, leaving everyone wondering, what are they looking for and why now? Let's dive into the tangled web of accusations, speculation, and connections that have put one of music's most powerful duos right in the crosshairs of an escalating investigation.
That's part of the indictment. That's somewhat like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
It feels like deja vu, doesn't it? If this sounds eerily familiar, it's because we've seen this play before. Earlier this year, C&D Combs, another titan of hip-hop, faced a similar situation when federal agents raided his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Back then, it seemed like just another headline, but fast forward 6 months, and the man is sitting behind bars, facing a storm of allegations that could take years to unravel. So, naturally, everyone's asking, is this the beginning of a similar downfall for Jay Z? Are we about to witness another colossal figure in the music industry brought to their knees by a tidal wave of legal troubles?
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
The timing of this investigation couldn't be more suspicious. Just as accusations against C&D Combs began snowballing last year, Jay Z found himself swept into the same legal storm. The lawsuit that initially only named Combs has now expanded to include Jay Z, painting a damning picture of events that allegedly unfolded decades ago. And while Jay Z's legal team has been quick to dismiss the claims as stupid, the FBI's involvement suggests there's more to this story than meets the eye. After all, federal agents don't just show up at your doorstep for a friendly chat. What's even more intriguing is how smoothly the search at Jay Z and Beyoncé's mansion reportedly went. Unlike the dramatic scenes we've seen with other high-profile raids, think battering rams, flashing lights, and media helicopters circling overhead, this operation was quiet, almost surgical. Sources close to the situation claim that Jay Z and Beyoncé cooperated fully, ensuring a seamless process. But let's be real, cooperation doesn't mean innocence. If anything, it might indicate that the couple knows they're under serious scrutiny and are playing it cool to avoid further complications.
I'm not surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee. He has a civil background.
Now, let's talk about what the FBI might have been looking for. The lawsuit against Jay Z includes some heavy accusations, with the most explosive claims tied to an alleged incident at an after-party following the 2000 MTV Video Music Award. The accuser, known only as Jane Doe, alleges that both Jay Z and C&D Combs were involved in reprehensible acts that night. Adding to the intrigue, the accuser claims there was an unnamed female celebrity in the room as a witness. So, could the FBI be hunting for evidence to corroborate her story? Maybe old photographs, party guest lists, or even private communications that could link Jay Z to the events in question?
He is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, it is scary because you think, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
And let's not forget the parallels to Diddy's case. When federal agents raided his properties earlier this year, it wasn't just about the immediate allegations against him. The searches reportedly uncovered a treasure trove of evidence, from documents to electronic devices, that painted a much larger picture of his activities over the years. Could the same be true for Jay Z? Are investigators hoping to find something that not only ties him to the lawsuit, but also reveals a pattern of behavior that could strengthen the case against him? What makes this situation even more fascinating is the broader context of Jay Z's relationship with Diddy. For years, these two have been portrayed as friendly rivals in the music industry. Two self-made moguls who clawed their way to the top and turned their success into billion-dollar empires. But as the old saying goes, where there's smoke, there's fire. Could their professional relationship have been more than just friendly competition? Is it possible that the accusations against Diddy and Jay Z are part of a much larger, interconnected web of secrets that's only now starting to unravel?
If you say the wrong thing or you complain or you know, I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing. Or, you know, when they're constantly asking, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs?
Jay-Z's legal team has been quick to distance him from Diddy, with his lawyer, Alex Spiro, going as far as to hold a press conference to address the allegations. Spiro didn't pull any punches, describing the claims against his client as a matter of fiction, and accusing the opposing legal team of exploiting a vulnerable accuser for financial gain. But let's not forget, this is the same lawyer who played a pivotal role in defending high-profile clients like Elon Musk and Robert Kraft. He knows how to craft a narrative, and the narrative here is clear. Jay-Z is the victim of a shakedown, and the real villain is the accuser's attorney, Tony Buzbee.
Because, you know, obviously this civil suit was coming for a while, and there was some talk between Buzbee and Jay-Z's lawyers. I think both Buzbee and Jay-Z's lawyers are really alphas, so...
Spiro's strategy has been twofold: discredit the accuser's story and highlight the lack of concrete evidence. During his press conference, he meticulously picked apart the timeline presented in the lawsuit, pointing out alleged inconsistencies that he claims make the story impossible. For example, the accuser described seeing a massive screen outside Radio City Music Hall on the night in question, but Spiro insists no such screen existed at the time. He also questioned how the accuser's father could have driven 5 hours from Rochester to pick her up shortly before dawn, given the timeline of events she described. It doesn't check out, Spiro declared. This never happened. But here's the thing. Just because a story has inconsistencies doesn't mean it's entirely false. Trauma can distort memories and details can get muddled over time. The real question is whether the FBI has found or will find any hard evidence to support the allegations. And if they do, Jay-Z could be looking at a legal battle that make his past controversies seem like minor speed bumps.
A lot of times lawsuits are like playing poker. Like even when you feign, you know, that you have strength, it could be that you have some weakness in your case. So Buzbee's never going to say that he doesn't have the evidence. I mean, Buzbee's always going to say he's got the evidence. He's always going to say, oh, we're going to look at multiple other people, we're going to do all this, because he wants to put that fear into that individual. Because
speaking of past controversies, let's not forget that Jay-Z is no stranger to scandal. From his infamous stabbing incident involving record executive Lance Rivera to the countless rumors about his personal life, the rapper turned businessman has always managed to emerge unscathed. But this time feels different. The stakes are higher, the accusations more serious, and the public's appetite for accountability stronger than ever. In an era where powerful men are being held to account for their actions, Jay-Z may find himself fighting an uphill battle to protect not just his reputation, but also his empire. Of course, all of this speculation raises an important question. What role, if any, does Beyoncé play in all of this? As one half of the most powerful couple in music, she's undoubtedly aware of the gravity of the situation. But so far, she's remained silent, choosing instead to focus on her work and family. Some insiders suggest that Beyoncé's support could be Jay-Z's secret weapon, a stabilizing force that helps him weather the storm. Others, however, wonder if her silence speaks volumes. Could she be distancing herself from the controversy, preparing for the possibility that her husband's legal troubles could have far-reaching consequences for their brand?
Jay-Z got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got it. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
The truth is, we don't know what the FBI found during their search, and we may not know for some time. But one thing is clear, this investigation is far from over. If history is any indication, we could be looking at a months-long process that culminates in a dramatic turn of events. Will Jay-Z face charges? Will more accusers come forward? Or will his legal team manage to dismantle the case before it gains any real traction? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the world will be watching every step of the way. The conversation around Jay-Z's legal troubles has taken on a life of its own, and for good reason. The stakes are higher than ever, and the implications of the accusations could ripple far beyond his music empire. While his lawyer Alex Spiro has been putting in overtime to dismantle the claims against him, one can't help but wonder if the damage has already been done. After all, in the court of public opinion, the mere mention of allegations like these can be enough to leave a permanent stain. But what's Jay-Z doing behind the scenes to fight back? And how might his past actions, relationships, and choices come back to haunt him now when he can least afford it?
This morning, rap mogul Jay Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Let's start with Jay Z's own response to the accusations. His reaction has been nothing short of explosive. In a public statement, he called the allegations idiotic and lambasted the accuser's legal team for what he described as a blatant money grab. These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case, he said, challenging his accuser to take her claims to criminal court instead of pursuing a civil lawsuit. It's a bold move, but one that raises eyebrows. Why push for a criminal case, knowing the scrutiny would only intensify? Is this confidence or calculation?
In a blistering statement, Jay Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
Jay Z's legal team has doubled down on the idea that the accusations are fabricated, pointing to what they say are glaring inconsistencies in the accuser's story. For instance, the timeline of events she described doesn't seem to align with documented facts. The party location, the description of the house, and even small details like a supposed billboard outside Radio City Music Hall have all been called into question. Spyro has gone on record saying this never happened and insists that the case falls apart under even the most basic scrutiny. But while his team is busy discrediting the claims, critics are quick to point out that discrediting a story doesn't necessarily prove innocence. And then there's the question of optics. Jay Z isn't just a rapper turned businessman, he's a global icon, a symbol of success, and a role model for millions. He's married to Beyonce, arguably the most influential woman in entertainment, and together they've cultivated an image of power, unity, and grace. But cracks in that image have appeared before. Remember the infamous elevator incident in 2014? When footage leaked of Beyonce's sister, Solange, physically confronting Jay Z while Beyonce stood silently by, the internet was ablaze with speculation. Was it about infidelity? A deeper rift? While the couple has always maintained a united front, moments like these remind us that there's always more to the story than what we see.
He, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement. He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, her.
This brings us to one of the most intriguing aspects of the current situation, Beyoncé's role in all of this. As the scandal unfolds, the world is watching her every move. How will she respond? Will she speak out in support of her husband, or will she choose to stay silent, as she has in the past? Sources close to the couple suggest that Beyoncé is devastated by the allegations, but remains steadfast in her belief in Jay Z's innocence. According to insiders, she's leaning on her closest confidants, including her former Destiny's Child bandmates, to navigate this storm. But there are whispers that Beyoncé has been quietly preparing for something like this ever since Sean Combs' arrest earlier this year. Could she have seen the writing on the wall? Beyoncé's silence is strategic, some say. By not addressing the allegations directly, she avoids adding fuel to the fire, but others interpret her quiet demeanor as a sign of tension behind closed doors. After all, this isn't the first time Jay Z's name has been linked to controversy. Over the years, rumors of infidelity have plagued their marriage, culminating in Jay Z's own admission of wrongdoing in his 2017 album 444. While the couple has seemingly moved past those issues, the current allegations bring a new level of scrutiny to their relationship.
The evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress.
And then there's the matter of Jay Z's past. While his rise from the Marcy Projects to billionaire status is nothing short of legendary, it's also a story filled with controversy, from his early days in the streets to his infamous altercation with record executive Lance Unn. Rivera in 1999, Jay Z has always had a complicated relationship with the law. He pleaded guilty to charges related to that incident and managed to avoid significant jail time, but it's a chapter of his life that continues to resurface whenever his character is called into question.
So, civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law, but if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and, we'll see what happens or if the DA looks and investigates.
More recently, conspiracy theories have begun to swirl around Jay Z's possible connections to other high-profile incidents. Take, for instance, the tragic passing of Aaliyah in 2001. While there's no concrete evidence linking Jay Z to the event, some internet sleuths have pointed out odd coincidences and tenuous connections that have fueled speculation Could these theories gain traction now in the wake of the current allegations? And what about the mysterious demise of Kathy Corey White, a woman rumored to have had ties to Jay Z? While her passing was officially attributed to natural causes, whispers of foul play have persisted for years. As investigators dig deeper into Jay Z's life, it's possible that these old rumors could resurface, adding yet another layer of intrigue to an already complex narrative. But it's not just Aaliyah or Kathy White's names that have been linked to Jay Z in these unfolding theories. Some speculate that the FBI might also be examining connections between Jay Z and Sean broader circle of influence. Over the years, both men have been photographed with some of the most powerful and controversial figures in the entertainment world. From lavish parties to exclusive industry events, their paths have crossed with individuals whose reputations are equally shrouded in mystery and rumor. Could the FBI be looking for evidence that ties Jay Z to activities within this wider network? And if so, how deep does this rabbit hole go?
The both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
Swept that smooth under the rug.
Why?
Adding fuel to the fire is the resurfacing of an old interview with Jaguar Wright, a former collaborator and whistleblower who has been vocal about the darker side of the music industry. In one of her most infamous interviews, she alleged that both Jay Z and Combs were part of what she called a secretive elite, hinting at behind-the-scenes dealings that could make anyone's head spin. While many dismissed her claims as attention-seeking at the time, recent events have given her words a new level of relevance. Could the FBI's investigation corroborate some of her statements, or are these just wild conspiracies gaining traction in the absence of clear answers?
It's malicious. But maybe that was because he was the girl that didn't want you.
Oh.
It's also worth noting that Jay Z's reputation as a strategic mastermind might be working against him here. Known for his meticulous control over his public image, some critics argue that he's simply too good at avoiding controversy for everything to be above board. From his calculated business moves to his ability to stay silent when it matters most, Jay Z has often been described as a man who plays chess while others play checkers. But if that's true, what happens when the pieces on the board are no longer under his control? Could this be the moment when his carefully constructed empire faces its biggest test?
By the way, wasn't this all around the time when Aaliyah died?
Yeah.
And Beyonce's solo career was struggling?
Of course, Jay Z's legal troubles don't exist in a vacuum. The entertainment industry is no stranger to scandals of this magnitude, and the ripple effects often extend far beyond the individuals directly involved. The accusations against Jay Z come at a time when the industry is still reeling from the fallout of Combs' arrest. The parallels between the two cases are impossible to ignore, and they raise uncomfortable questions about the culture of power and privilege in the music world. Are these isolated incidents, or are they symptomatic of a deeper, systemic issue? One thing is certain. The FBI's interest in Jay Z is a game changer. Federal investigations are thorough, methodical, and unforgiving. If there's anything to be found, you can bet they'll uncover it. And while Jay Z's legal team is working hard to control the narrative, the reality is that this situation is largely out of their hands. The outcome will depend not only on the strength of the evidence, but also on the public's perception of Jay Z's character. In an era where social media can make or break reputations overnight, every move he makes will be scrutinized. As the investigation continues, the world is left to wonder, what's next for Jay Z? Will he emerge from this unscathed, as he has so many times before? Or is this the beginning of a downfall that could rival even the most dramatic celebrity scandals? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. This story is far from over. With each new development, the stakes grow higher, and the questions become more urgent. Will Beyoncé stand by his side if more accusations surface? Could more individuals come forward with their own stories? And perhaps, most intriguingly, what secrets might the FBI uncover as they dig deeper into the life of one of music's most enigmatic figures? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more celebrity gossip and insider news. Until next time, stay curious,